I hope audio is working now. Okay. Okay, audio testing 1, 2, 3. Audio testing 1, 2, 3. So, okay, can anybody confirm whether they can hear me or not? It would be helpful. I hope audio is working now. Okay. Okay, audio testing 1, 2, 3. Audio testing 1, 2, 3. Yes, okay. So far, well, all the testing that I could do, I have done, and I think audio and video is working. Any of you can, write it down in chat, so that will help me a lot. Okay, so let's get started. Now, basically, the title just is title for the sake of title. It has no actual bearing. One of the most interesting video of last week was basically this puppy, using my smartphone as basically a computer replacement, so to say, or pseudo computer. Of course, it's not a full-fledged computer, a pseudo computer. However, I saw a bit of a confusion in people, where it's like, why go through all that hassle rather than just buying a laptop? It's like, first you have to understand that most of us have this. Okay, almost all of us have smartphones, so why not use the goddamn device that we paid for? In terms of compute power, it already has the compute power. The more people actually start to use this as a compute, the more easy it would be to have this as our primary means of compute. Again, not for everyone, not for developers, definitely not for developers. That's not going to happen. However, for rest of other peoples, it could work. Okay, why nobody is commenting? Okay. Okay, comment is working, and I do not think I have like a what you call. What is the issue? Is it members only? But again, you guys can press 100%. Hold on. Hello guys, is anybody actually there? Okay, so you are getting. It's not locked, right? Okay, if it's locked and it's showing that basically only for members, can you please press the 100% button? So I will know that is it for members only? I don't think that it should be, but like nobody is commenting, so I'm a bit confused. Why? Why nobody is confused? Okay. Subscribers. Okay, it should be working now. It should be working. Okay. Okay, it should be working. Okay, okay, my bad. Just give me one moment. I'm just one moment. Okay. Okay, my bad, my bad. I do not know why YouTube keeps defaulting into membership mode. I genuinely do not know. Damn. I'm truly sorry, it freaking wasted 5 minutes. Good audio video, Guruji. Thank you so much for confirmation. Atomic Guy, hi to you. I'm genuinely confused. It's like why YouTube always defaults to members only. That's frustrating, but well, now we are here. Cheers. Okay, so about the basically last week's videos was one of like after quite some time I got the luxury of actually working a whole week without any breaks. Unfortunately, it's gonna go okay. Basically 2nd September I have to go on another court date, which will be tiring. So but next week you guys will see all the videos without any single break, because again I have already, this week was kind of productive, so you will not have any issues. And some interesting topics I have covered, including a specific topic that is progressing exponentially faster in India itself. It's not abroad only. It's like it's happening in India only. So that was like a very good thing. So which I would like to share is about energy storage and utilizing what we already have. It's a very clever idea. But it was very good. Do you believe in Ali Pura? अरे कहाँ पूरा कर रहा है? No, I do not understand what you're trying to say. It's night time. Where do you live? Like again, technically it is still night even in India. So it's 7 p.m. in India. So where are you from? Garfield. Huh, Garfield. Isn't they're planning to make a movie about it? Garfield. Okay, so the idea with basically using this sort of dongles to utilize your smartphone as a computer, the primary reason for that is if you do that, it forces developers to actually push the applications that are here to be far more capable, far more full-fledged, so to say. Can it do that? Does it have the compute? Actually it does. Like if you can go back to like let's say 5 years ago, the apps were doing the same things that they are doing today. It's not like whoa. Of course you can say like okay, we went from 4K to 8K, but like does it really matter? So in those sort of scenario, oh, South Africa, Cape Town, 3 p.m. here. Damn, what are you doing up there, man? Like really, that's a like. Did you woke up early, or do you have to travel somewhere? Because that's the only two justification I can give. Was like why you are up there like 3 p.m. or you have to work at night shift. That could also be true. The movie was terrible. Oh, you watched a movie and that was terrible? Oh, okay, Garfield movie. Okay, okay, you are talking about Garfield movie. Aren't they rebooting it? But again, at this point in time, they are rebooting everything and a kitchen sink, so I would not be shocked. So that would not be. Sir, I know my age kids are addicted to Instagram Reel like the 180 or so. See, Andy, Fred, why are you worried about other people? Like think about it, like calmly think about it. It's like why do you give a damn about them? Have you sorted everything that is to sort in your life? Again, it's one thing to do it like when I am studying other people, I'm getting paid for it, right? Like I'm doing analysis and collecting data, projecting it in YouTube, and YouTube is paying me. Like there is a reason for me to give a damn. Like there is a reason for me to study these things. What reason do you have? Like think about it, like it is a very important thing. If you waste your energy on things that does not actually matter, you are just wasting time, because time does not come back. So why do you give a damn what others are doing? Like really truly think about it. It's like why do you give a damn? Like if you are what you call a generalist, that's fine. If you are like for example, I give a damn about technology, so I study them, I research them, but I don't give a damn about money and all that. The best thing I can say to people is like invest in index fund and go YOLO. Don't think too much about it. So you have to understand that only certain amount of focus can be dedicated to things. So in my case, I limit it to things that I'm interested in. Things that I'm not interested and does not directly affect what you call my livelihood, I'm like out. I'm out. I cannot give a damn about it. You are young at this point in time, the way you are typing. So I would really recommend, do not burn time away. Like do not burn time away. Use that time wisely into anything that suits you. Heck, start drawing. Like that's a good skill. If you can actually draw, you can still have an idea and like, truly start to put it on a paper. That's priceless. That for many scenarios, it's like priceless. So do not, worry about things that does not actually have any value. No, it's not. It's not. See, hold on. Both are okay. My apologies. Apparently, YouTube. I keep forgetting that YouTube has top chat, then live chat. Don't ask me who came up with this, but the idea is live chat. YouTube tries to figure out which chat is the most interesting, so they piles it up. Problem is it's not chronological, and to make it chronological, I have to study it in what you call, set it to live chat. Yeah, it's overcomplicated for no reason, so it is what it is. But okay, now I just today got this puppy. This puppy allows me to actually have I have 3 hours of PUBG screen time while I have exam. Am I doomed? Well, you are silly. You are silly, like flat out you are silly, because here's the deal. It does not mean like if you have exam tomorrow does not mean you have to study right now, because one of the very famous cricketer in India, Dhoni, had a very interesting saying. It makes more rhyming sense in Hindi, but like I'll try to port it to best of my knowledge. The idea was that if you actually studied whole year and you watched one cricket match, it's not gonna matter much. But if you did not basically study whole year and then you try to study one night, it's not gonna matter much. So same thing. So if you are like, hey, I did my study throughout the year, then playing game today, not a big issue. But again, you should not be playing game because you should not tire yourself out. You should not frustrate yourself. It's like, okay, I have exam tomorrow, then try a revision. If it causes anxiety, relax, rest, listen to some music, sleep. rest yourself. That would also be a very worthy system. But like, you have to be wise about how you are spending your time, especially before a thing. Sir, YouTube is American, so you earn in dollar. Rich guy, that's not how it works. You have to understand they're not paying that much. Again, if this English channel was as big as my Hindi channel, then of course, then I will be swimming. Then I will like, bro, I don't give a damn. But because he has deal. Per click, so to say, per ad clicked, the rate is really different compared to India to USA. So this English channel is mostly watched in America. That's the primary consumer base, so to say, and the translation to basically views to money is much higher here compared to my Hindi channel. So because yes, my Hindi channel is around 300. It's reaching that point, if I'm not mistaken. It's almost like 250k subscribers compared to like this is barely 10,000, not even 10,000 yet. So. But again, the money disparity between these two channels is not that huge compared to the subscriber. So again, if this channel was successful, then yeah, successful as in like, again, it's a very successful thing, and any number above 0, I'll take it. So that is good, but it's not like, swimming. Like if it was like 100k, that would be good, but it is what it is. I know how much you make on YouTube. Yeah, everybody claims that. I stopped playing computer games, addicted like drugs. Yeah, it's a quite important thing. If you notice that you are messing things up, it's on you to apply brakes. It does not matter. Like many times people try to compare, like how much you are messing up. That's not a right way. For example, somebody could be so high octane brain power that they could be like playing 4 hours per day and still be like acing their exam, while you are only playing 2 hours a day and you are messing up your exams. You will be the problematic part. So never compare your basically addiction to anyone else, and just be like, do I feel cool with this, or do I feel like I'm losing it? If you're losing it, apply disc brakes. That's a very wise thing to do. That's a very clever approach to life. You do not need to compare. You do not need to compare. It's like, oh, at least I'm not that bad. Again, trust me, I have also wasted life, very serious portion of life with that. But it's not how they are doing it, or how someone else is doing it. It's only, are you able to flow with it? For example, I used to watch so many TV shows. Now, do I regret it? No. Why not? Because again, that's how I learned English. English is not my first language, and even in my job, I was not, again, my job did not require me to talk, so to say. So my English is directly proportional to the TV shows I watched. But at some point, I reached a point where it's like, it was not flowing basically, but I applied brakes, because the younger version of me had a habit of like, I started a TV show, I have to finish it. But then I was like, not really. Not really, like, I have to reach a point where it's like my time is valuable, so to say. So I reached a point where it's like, okay, like for example, Dexter, I was watching it. After like, I think few seasons, I was like, dude, this is not going anywhere. Big Bang Theory, not going anywhere. The only thing I think that is long and I finished it was Friends. And Friends, I think How I Met Your Mother was also, I was like, again, they finished it before I was like, tired of it. But I reached a point where it's like, eesh. Like, it was so predictable, like I could feel the twist and turn in coming in the story. It was like very, and again, do I blame the showrunners for that? No. It's like, why I am giving the time if I'm not happy with the product, so to say. I'm the one responsible for it. So, that's why. Because of crypto video, I am serious about economic scam and investing. Yeah, that you should be. Again, that you should be. If you are investing your money, you should be. And that's another reason why I just simply say, yeah, you will be risking, you will be getting less return, so to say. But again, if I will take safety, especially with money, because again, I'm not swimming in dough, so to say. I generally go with index fund. That's the primary reason for it. Is just go with index fund. And again, almost all analysis, almost all data point we have as a humanity says one thing: index fund will always be better, if not stable, in long run. Like in 5-6 years, you can have up and down if you are directly porting with the stocks. But if you like keep buying it, like, it's just a habit or routine, so to say. You just keep buying it, keep. Over a time, index fund will always be like a very good bet, like very good bet. So that's there. I don't take exams seriously. That's up to you. Have to buy a printer for study, thermal or color printer. Buy color printer or laser printer. Do not buy thermal. Thermal, generally the cheap ones, they have a roller that has a ink embedded into it. That will not hold your content. It will fade away. So like generally bills like this, for shipping labels and all that, they give things out like this. But again, this font will automatically evaporate after around 6 months. It does not evaporate, it just switches backwards. So it's useless. So do not risk a thermal printer. And did you choose it always to please parents? No, choose what? I did not understand, Garfield. Choose what and who you are asking this to? I do not understand. These phones are equivalent to 25 years old supercomputer, but performance is not a priority for software companies these days. So they are chasing hardware improvement, will not work out. Phones very capable. No, 25, you are going too far back, man. Like just few years ago, like the amount of crunching power that this puppy has, Samsung S23 Fan Edition, not the latest and greatest, the amount of oomph it has, it's only few years old ago. Like here's the deal, many people still have laptop that only has 8 gigabyte of RAM. This has it. Like this has it. Many people, again, only few years ago only had hard drives, not SSDs. Again, high end had it, but cheap one did not. And again, this has very high quality. Now, not the latest and greatest, not the like whoa kind of thing, but more than good enough. This has more than enough power. Heck, oh, and another test that I wanted to do, what we call data wrangling, basically taking data from one point to dumping it to another, and I'm trying to find my, yeah, okay, so you need 2 SSD. I wanted to test how fast my mobile fan can do this. So for this, again, that was another reason why I paid for multiple USB 3.0 ports. So today I bought my not bought as in like I bought it like few days ago. So today I got this NVMe 10 gigabit basically SSD or already had a SSD. So now I can make sure that USB link is not the weak point. So I tried to transfer it. Unfortunately, it's only giving 80 Mbps. Now, here's the, that may sound bad, and it's not that great because that took almost like 17 minutes to transfer 80 gigabyte. Not great, but not terrible. And be mindful, only few years ago, most people's laptop and desktop did not had it. They did not have the luxury of dumping speed that much. I have it, like it's running on my smartphone today, not 10 years from now, or like maybe, no, it's today. So it's more than good enough. Is it perfect? Hell no. But is it like useful? Absolutely. So fundamentally, smartphone has like exponential, and that's why the Apple jumped from like Intel to ARM series. They knew it for a full fact. They knew the trajectory of ARM processors on mobile phone is exponential. Intel is no longer in exponential range. Like you can literally buy 11th gen to 12th gen and 13th gen. It's not like whoa. Like it's not there. No x86 is like whoa. Like the best we are hoping for is the energy consumption goes down, which again, if you are buying computer parts after a very long time, for example, my last desktop was freaking 10 years old and then I upgraded my current system, then yeah, and now I'm seeing like whoa kind of differences. Like for example, in my old computer, when I used to render video, it used to take around 40 minutes, so to say. Almost 1 hour of my day was like just consumed on video rendering, and even though I had no effect, nothing, just, and full HD, it's not even 4K. So 1 hour was gone. And here's the deal, that 1 hour taking is not that big of a deal, but point is my computer used to freeze up. I could not do browsers and all that because again, a 10-year-old computer. But now I can render, it only takes few minutes and I can still do everything. So there has been improvement, but here's the deal, smartphone can do that kind of crunch. It can do 4K crunch, fundamentally. So phones are very capable, like very, very capable. It's just the software limitation. And again, if you are working on browser-based system, it's not even a limitation as of now. It's like they have what you call web engines that are powerful enough to handle like very high-end browsers and all that. Why America is still using card and money? We have daddy UPI. Again, UPI has certain benefits and certain consequences. And my apologies. UPI, Indian government decided to pump a serious amount of money from tax base to that system. That system is not free, it's tax-based system. And in card system, people are responsible, business are responsible. Damn. What the hell? Let me just. Yeah, so in terms of card, either you pay for it or your bank pays for it. It does not touch the national treasury, but in UPI, it touches national treasury. So it was a risk, very new gamble that Indian government took. And there is no denying it. Now, is it good? Of course, it has a lot of benefits, but does come with penalty. You lose your privacy. Government knows what you are doing with your money. And again, the more people go from physical currency to digital currency, the more easy it becomes for a bad actor to destroy you, or to basically you become more what you call harder to control from basically you become much easier to control from a government points of view. So there is pros and cons. It's not black and white. There is pros and cons. We improve, we move forward, we fear, we solve problems, we are human. That's a very good way of saying it. Recently I've been consuming a lot of content in HYF, human F, yeah. So that's a lot. Basically it's a lot of Reddit stories. Most stories are very lightweight, but some are really good. So, and they also have this point. They do not show that humans are like the god tier, but they are like very resilient, very robust, so to say, and like, you know, the spirit. And I like that idea. And again, recently, even that nobody owns anything, that was the whole point. The reason why I'm so frustrated with people's delusion about overpopulation is just every time this happened. This is not like first time. Like back in the older days, like in 1800s, we were like 1 billion people, we cannot support it, we cannot feed it. Who gives a damn 1 billion? 2 billion, same thing. 3 billion, same thing. 4 billion, same thing. By the time 5 billion was reached, India was getting its independence. Everyone was like, India cannot feed itself. We are feeding 1.5 billion people. And yes, we are feeding them. You do not run on photosynthesis. So if Indian children are not getting food, we will not have population. So fundamentally, like, you have a problem, you push through it, you solve it. That's how it works. But this idea of like, oh, humans are problem and just run away, that's like, that breaks me. These phones are equivalent of 24. What is your take on daisy chaining power outlets in India? Dangerous. You have to be very mindful on like current draw. We do not have too many fuses, and not to mention the voltage fluctuation is so low that you can have a very serious current draw. Even though the wattage could be on right, but your voltage could sag so much that appliance will draw too much power, especially if you have stabilizers. So you have to be mindful of that. You know, do it for lightweight objects, do not do it for heavyweight things. Yeah, 1000x improvement in CPU performance in 25 years. Yeah, fundamentally that did happen. And to be fair, that did happen on x86. It's just that last 10 years of x86 was kind of like meh. So I think too much attention was poured into ARM, and ARM like started to really fly. Oh, power cut happened, so that's bad. Do you think government takes money from us, but thinking it's his money and treats it like that? See, government problem is that people like order. People need structure. Now, government fulfills a role in that. Like, government allows us a structure, so to say, and we need it. Let that be very clear. It's not like, oh, a free roam or like, you know, anarchy and all that. No, you need it. That's good. That's awesome. But here's the problem. It creates a scenario where people who end up in government employees, so to say, president, MLAs, and basically people who are in power, quote unquote, they become kind of above human. They are like, you know, we can do whatever we want. Like, for example, like how the heck we have so messed up scenario where it's like government knows what you own in tax, and they're like, no, but what if we F you? How the heck that law was passed? Like, think about it. Like, think about it. It's like this happened. It's like, you know what? We're gonna spend so much money on surveillance state that we're gonna surveil what money you are making, how you are making that, and we create how much tax you're making. But instead of being like, hey, we created this much, here's your tax. Okay, you know, we already worked on it. Here's your tax. Go YOLO on it. No. So it's like these sort of bad things happen. And again, the most scary thing to me is like the fact that every Tom, Dick and Harry is like, oh, we should take everybody's rights away. It's like privacy. We should not have privacy because if you did not do anything wrong, you should, you know, what's there to hide? I'm like, are you serious? Are you freaking serious? And like, you cannot compute what will happen if you do this. Like, this is genuinely scary to me. That how many people are like, you know, oh, bad things are happening on Instagram or bad things are happening on Telegram, so we should ban it. It's like, ban everything, na? Ban people, ban life itself. It's like this, there's one gentleman who put it very distinctly, is that whenever you pass a law, all you are affecting is law-abiding citizens. So for example, you're like, pew pew, it should be banned. Here's the deal. Does it affect criminals? No. They're gonna do pew pew before, they're gonna do pew pew after. The only people who cannot defend themselves is the people who are law abiding because you changed the law. So this brain damage idea of like, you know, we should ban, Telegram because they are doing it. Here's the Telegram is a thing. right? It's a thing like Instagram. Now Instagram is like creating such a big what you call, I do not want to use that word, it will get demonetized, that's why I'm not using that word. It's like, what's the next word? Let's say paid networks in countries where it is not legal to do it, they are doing it. So do you ban Instagram? No, right? That is basically this whole idea of like certain lines should be there, right? Like for example, while I do not like the idea of like blocking or banning any substances, especially if you are consuming it yourself, like I could understand banning cigarettes because again the smoke goes to someone else who did not agree to it. I get that. But talking anything about like you are snorting from your nose, I do not want to ban it. Why? Because again, it's your life, you are making that decision. The only red line I have, do not give it to children. That's my red line. It's like, bro, we as a humanity collectively have agreed that 18 years, you need 18 years of cooking time to be ready. And you're like, what if you're not fully cooked? That's life. That's life. We agreed to that. We agreed to that. So I'm okay with that. But this whole idea is like, what if we ban everything? What if we F the public? It's like, and how the heck people agree to it? It's like, do you not see where it leads? Like that's the exact same thing did in North Korea. North Korea worked their ass off to destroy every single privacy. They worked their ass off. Why do you think there is no uprising? There is no revolution? Heck, India had revolution 75 years ago. We got our independence. Why do you think Kim Jong-un is still alive? They violated everyone's privacy. They went inside people's head and directly installed propaganda there. So those people are lost cause at this point in time. They cannot recover. And this whole desire was like, bad things happen. People are bad. It's not things, people. You have bad people, figure them out, solve it. And basically, what's actually happening now, and just zoom out a bit. So what's happening is like, you actually have to make a life livable. You actually have to take care of the people you are in charge of. But that's hard thing to do. So they're like, what if we scare them? So that's why it's happening. Do you think why humans are wise and cool, but it appears to no argument from authority? Again, we are not gods yet, na? That's the whole point. Read about escapade. No, I'm not sure what exactly. In x86, only decoding part 2 or to x4 inefficient compared to ARM. Intel AMD did not care to fix it, but Qualcomm is challenging them. So now AMD will fix and x86 will match ARM soon. I hope so. Atomic guy, I hope so. Because again, we never want monopoly. You do not want a monopoly. I want a country where not country as in like a planet where you have like ARM, you have Qualcomm, you have Exynos, you have Dimensity, you have RISC-V, you have AMD, you have Intel. We want this. That's a desirable outcome. You do not want an outcome where only nobody improves ARM or x86 and then bad things happen. You do not want that. That's definitely not desirable. So I'm really happy, looking forward to it. So sir, Buzz, like eyesight to blind, too much addictive, many drugs of family units will be banned. Again, it's people's decision. You cannot take people's rights away. The moment you take right away, you make it non-choice. Basically, you have to choose to be a responsible individual. Nobody can force you. Let that be very clear. You have to choose to be responsible. There is no alternate to it. And again, it's your family unit's job to like, okay, talk about it. Like here's Dave, for example, alcoholism is a very big issue in a lot of countries, but not in every country. For example, in European countries, some of them, not all, some of them have like very serious alcohol consumption, but it's not an issue. While compare that to, Russia, Russia has like serious blood poisoning issues, like serious issue, vodka wise. Why? Because again, the government was like, what if instead of like, taking care of the problems that we are dealing with, side effect of communism, we just give them cheap vodka. So you have to understand there is a serious what you call disparity, so to say. It's like, but again, people have to make that decision. Like, for example, if you are born in Gujarat, you do not have the luxury of easy access to liquor. But did you make that decision or somebody made that decision for you? And that's the most dangerous thing to me. Nobody should make a decision for everyone, good or bad. This is one thing that America got right. Like again, they are not following it properly, but they at least in principle, in paper, in their constitution, they do understand this. Like you have right to be wrong, and it has to be there. It has to be there. Only then right matters. Like for example, if you allow, you went full Chinese, right? Like you any children who is not scoring 99%, we're gonna poof them. And now again, do that for one generation, or they have been doing it. Everybody is super smart. Is your country smart? No, they're just robots. They are cheap labor. So there is a very serious reality. You cannot force it. And by the way, it also creates a what we call forbidden fruit effect. The moment you make it illegal, the moment you make it restricted, it has attractive attractiveness goes up exponentially. Now everybody wants to do it. Like you cannot impress someone with vodka in Russia because like everybody has it, but you can do that in India. It's like, oh, vodka. So you have to understand this. Like people must choose willingly. So drugs are like eyesight to blind, too much addictiveness. Of course, it's addictive. Of course, it's addictive. But again, it requires a family structure. Like for example, the most common cited thing is that they had a, I think, guinea pig in a chamber, and they had like normal water, and then they had drugs, and they were like, okay, the guinea pig, take drugs until it passed out. And here's the problem with that: there was nothing else in the chamber. It could not do. Like they put him in a prison, and they had only two outcomes. It's like, bro, that's not fair. And again, they showed it. There are other researchers who are like, dude, this is not how you do. They had a whole habitat where they could do things. There were like multiple, basically organisms. They had a whole society. Most people did it, tried it, and then are like, meh, who cares? And same thing happened with Vietnam War. Because again, in Vietnam, because it was such a hard life, everybody was like doing some hard drugs. Like, let that be very clear. Soldiers were doing hard stuff. And people were worried. It's like they're gonna come back and they're gonna destroy the country because nothing happened. Why? They were in hell environment. They were using it as a copium. They went into a safe environment. They're like, okay, no longer needed. So this whole idea of like people cannot choose, or people, of course, some people will be far more susceptible. But again, it has to be a choice. It has to be. There is no running away from that. Basically, whenever you are asking for banning, you are asking your state, your government to become nanny state. Basically, can you please take care of my rights away so I do not have to make a decision? That's very bad, leads to utter hell. And again, the more you try to ban it, the worse it becomes. I'm in 12th standard and preparing for IIT JEE. Good luck to you. I have been coding for 6 years plus now. I have some industry level skills now. See, you cannot say you have industry level skill because you do not have a paycheck. Unless you are getting paid, and I do not mean freelance, like paid regularly, you cannot say that. Like, relax a bit. See, money is a very easy way of figuring out whether you have value or not. Because again, if other people are willingly paying you, that means you have at least that much value. More than that, awesome, but at least that much is sorted. So only then you can say. Why fridge is more reliable than AC? AC is a higher load equipment, while fridge is a very low load equipment. Fridge consumes 100 of watt, while AC consumes kilowatt. So of course, it's a much different problem. Some men will fully develop in their prefrontal cortex by late 20. Does not matter. Like we agreed to it, that's it. If everybody agreed to like, okay, you have to be 21, then okay, that would be the point. But so far we have agreed to 18. That is it. Use math, no one worked him, one Jew, 4 Chinese, 1 Indian. The same way Mexico was suffering from drug cartels, the cartels are very brutal and violent. Yeah, of course, that's absolutely true, because here's the deal. What happens when you make it illegal? You make it rich. You make it rich. Like, here's the deal. You know what will happen right now if there is somebody who tries to legalize this sort of drugs? Every cartel owner will go to politician. It's like, shut this project down. You know who will lose the most amount of money? Cartel. You know who will lose the most amount of money? Bankers. Who will lose most amount of money? Police, state. Like, because the moment you make it legal, it's a normal thing. It's like, here's the deal. There are only 2 things that actually run the criminal enterprise on the whole planet. Only 2 things. Prostitution and drugs. There is nothing else. And you're like, what about weapons and money laundering and all that? All those are secondary to that primary. Let that be very clear. All those are secondary to the primary application of, prostitution and drugs. The moment you make those things, everything else, oh, you need to buy weapons. What for? Like, it's a normal thing. Now you are under the jurisdiction of normal police. It works. Billion-dollar companies work like that. So again, it's a very, what you call, it's basically, there is a saying now, like, road to hell is paved by good intentions. So we are trying to save ourselves for that short-term suffering, which will happen. Again, let that be very clear. If government actually become wise enough, they will do it in stages. So you do not give too much of a shock. Slowly legalize it, brick by brick, day by day. And then, of course, people will normalize. It's like, yeah, we used to do it. It's like, nobody cares. And like, think about this. Like, where do you hear more story about drunk people? In America or in Germany? Germany, you can drink in public. Does not matter. So... yeah, I use my history. One reason Apple chose ARM instead of X-Ray because Intel and will not license it. The ARM risk is, yeah, that's also true. That's also true. Yeah, no monopoly we win. Yeah, that's a very good point. Don't study for IRA, study for dreams you have. That's also a very valid point. Bro, if views on Quora safety of doctors, see they are safe. How do I know that? Well, because it happened. Like think it this way, there are countries right now where cases like that Calcutta rape case is happening on hourly basis. Let that be very clear. Happening on hourly basis. Every hour some woman is going through that. It's not a news article. Why? Whole country is burning. Why it's a news article in India? Because it's so rare. Like it's one of those things, our psychology works in reverse. When you like one bad thing happens, it's like, how can this happen? It's like, yeah, this is rare. It rarely happens. That's why people are panicking. That's why we are so hell-bent on it. That's a good thing. Like how we responded to it shows that it's not normal. It's not like, oh, it's a Tuesday. There are places this is a Tuesday. For example, if you think this is bad, like Iran just passed a law that 9-year-old girls can be married. Understand that. That happened. Who cares? Nobody cares because it's normal for that. So that's the whole point. India is very safe, but you can never ever achieve absolute zero. If you try to, you will create hell. So it's one of those things like, again, could we do better? But again, that better is always like, always bit better. You keep working at it. It's what we call aspirational goal, not realistic goal. You can never realistically achieve it. You can expedite the processing afterwards, expedite recovery systems and all that. That's a good thing. But like if you're trying to like, I want zero. Yeah, no, only hell and death can give you that. Nothing else. Ever heard of University 25 mouse experiment? Yeah, I think that mouse utopia I think you are talking about. Yeah, also heard that. People are saying wrong things about Indian Railways or crash and all that, but we don't know how India is bigger compared to others. Yeah, that's also a fair point. Like for example, if railway accident happens, which again we did had enough accidents, and the ironic part is, if I'm not mistaken, more than once we had failure in what we call an interlocking block system. Our signal is supposed to be interlocking block system, meaning under no circumstances you should have the ability to have a fault signal sending two trains into one block, but it has failed more than once. More than once it has failed. So yeah, that means what we call invert of it, so to say. Dubai is so much safer. Yeah, that's a delusion. Oh, you have 10,000 people, it's safer. We have 1.5 billion people. Of course it won't be safer. And we have religions, not one religion, religions. We have 3 major religions. Let that sink in. 3 major religions. We have more languages. It's like, oh, this tiny house is very safe. It's like, duh. Like compare something that is what you call same level, so to say. It's like, oh, for example, I'll give you a simple thing. This puppy has to transfer data at 1 gigabytes per second. That's hard, right? Now here's the somebody's like, oh, I can transfer 1 megabits without consuming too much energy. It's like, duh. Transfer 1 gigabyte without consuming too much energy, then it's a big deal. So same thing happens. Oh, that country is safe. Oh, like a country that barely have like few thousand people. I'm not joking. I was like shocked. I double checked my hearing multiple times. Whenever talking about like Ukraine is invading this settlements, a settlement had pre-war population of 3,000. I'm like, 3,000 people is a settlement? That's a mohalla in our town. Mohalla, and I live in a small town. So not even town, it's a kasbah, so to say. So, you have to understand some context. Afghanistan is a very safe country, but with a high cost. Yeah, that's a very genuine point. Like same goes with North Korea. Very safe. There is not even a single criminal there. Not even a single criminal. It's like very safe country. So it's one of those things. I think Muslim countries are unsuccessful because not using 50% low scientific temper. Not using 50% is not a valid point because majority of scientific advancement happened, and basically the biggest scientific jump happened from 1700 to 1900. And that time it was not that big. Indians by cases instead of calling out bad governance. Yeah, that's also a point. So low scientific temper, that's absolutely true, but they will surpass everyone simply because they are actually reproducing while everybody else is going extinct. So in terms of time they will win. It's like a long-term game. So in terms of time they will win. But instead of calling out bad governance, that's a factual point. My question, what if I should push for degree for applying for a job? My experience, see, I'm not the right person for that. There are people who call job analyst and like what you call career counselor is their job, not my job. What's your opinion on death penalty? You have to be damn sure that you do not oops it. And again, there is a both side to the coin, because many people do not understand this, that we used to have death penalty for rape related crimes. We no longer do that, simply because after raping, then when like mind was cleared, many men just poofed the woman. So we realized that, you know, injured woman is far preferable over a dead woman. So that's why we do not do, like, you know, capital punishment, so to say. Like, you would think capital punishment will solve it. It will not. It will have zero effect. And worst case scenario, and be mindful, a dead body does not, like, you know, create insight. So you will just have randomly a lot of women just poof. So trust me, we have learned that the hard way. That's why it's not removed in most places. But that history part is, people do not, again, it's uncomfortable truth. So we are like, we just ignore it. India's surprisingly safe, on par with first world nations or even better. Yeah, it is. In many regards, it is. But yes, really, it's just like one bad thing happens, everyone's like, oh, how can this happen? It's like, yeah, one bad thing happened in 1.5 billion people. 1.5 billion people, one bad thing happened. And then you're comparing it to, oh, you know, Netherlands, it barely has like 70, 80,000 people. It's like I know it's not 70, 80,000, but you get the point. Like, you get the point. There are actual towns, I'm not joking, 3,000, 4,000 people, town, and they call it town. I'm like, what the hell? It's like, you know, Norway, if I'm not mistaken, Norway has the country where it's like 4,000 cars total. It's like, you have to understand, some context has to be given here. As you said, we cannot do zero, so we do have Indian Railway in terms of percentage 0 to 100. It's 70s. I would say high 70%. I live in a hometown, got 50,000 salary, government job, I got job of 80,000 salary. Should I go 1,000 kilometer away from home? Again, it depends on your home environment. If your home environment is safe as in psychologically, if it's safe, you feel good there, don't go away. But if you feel like a caged animal, go. That's up to you. Your court case, they focus on goals, not whole or suffer. See, cases. Sometimes you learn by falling into a ditch. I did. That's life. Again, I have to go on second. That will be painful waste of time, but it is what it is. I think you repeated that. See, this is why I actually had banned the comments, commenting. If you keep repeating it, I'll just block you. I'll just block you. If you keep repeating, I'll just block you. Comment one more time. Comment one more time, I'll block you right now. Freaking 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 times, same thing. So according to you, capital punishment should be abolished even in the case of heinous crime. You have to be very mindful of that. Like, again, if it's what you call one too many, like, you know, one person caused a death of 100, no discussion. But it's like 1 to 1, then it's dangerous. There is a very simple mathematics to that. No? Like, if one person caused poof of 100 people, yeah, there is no discussion, done, go home. But if it's like 1 to 1, then it's a very dangerous thing. I have numbers as a simple filter, so to say, where it's like, okay, if you caused harm, and like, again, if you have like, you know, count, victim count, so to say, yeah, then no. That's my line, so to say. You know, everybody has a red line. That's my line. It's like, if you are causing harm for hundreds of people, then it's like, no, bro, no, bro. It's like, it's one of the most hilarious things about Joker in Batman movies. It's like, yeah, Joker would be poofed out of existence, in every real country, where it's like, dude, we get it one time, we get it, second time there won't be second time. Second time it will be shoot on sight. It's like, but they never do that. So hoopla, you mean that? See, do whatever you want to. Again, I can pay for it. I can pay for alcohol, but I don't, because again, it's a choice. I'm making a choice to not pay for it. So it's my choice, and I'm happy with it. The good and the bad, all things have its consequences, and we have to do that. That's life. And again, recently you guys must have seen, like, I have to commend Ukraine. I have to commend Ukraine. It's like they were stuck in a position, like, for many people who do not understand why Ukraine is not winning, let me be very clear about this. The best analogy I got about it is like, Ukraine has a goalkeeper, but they do not have attack team. Basically, the idea is whenever two countries goes boom to each other, they have to go inside each other countries and cause damage. Ukraine is not allowed to do that. They have HIMARS, they have ATACMS now, they even have fighter jets, but they are not allowed allowed to go inside Russia. So they cannot damage the runway, they cannot damage the infrastructure while Russia will keep bombarding it. So even though Russia is losing people, it has enough safe harbor. So basically their muscles are working, but their immune system is chilling. And Ukraine, they also have to make sure the whole country works while they are also fighting. So it's a lose-lose scenario. So that's why the Kirk's invasion was a very serious scenario where they're like, okay, what if we took the battle to them? And that not even month, I think it's only 17 days old at this point in time, that caused so much what you call chaos. Like first time Russian people are like, wait a minute, you're telling me that my life is also boomable like Ukrainian people? Yeah, you can be boomed same as anyone else. You can be cold, you can evacuate exactly like them. So that was a very big chess move. And it was like, that they are still losing ground. Yeah, they are losing ground by kilometer and they are capturing land by kilometers. So yeah, it's a very sticky system. Basically, Ukraine has to have the ability to strike inside Russia. They have the technology. Technology is not the problem. They have the training. They have the assets. It's just that America is like, that will cause escalation. So I think this whole Kirks region invasion, so to say, was just so that Russia cannot use nukes again. India is against it and China is against it, and they are the only two partners that are providing enough money to actually have Russia existing. So likelihood of nukes being used is very low, not zero, but very low. One person says, be unhappy but rich. It's easier said than done. It's one of those things, oh, be billionaire. It's like, yeah, that's not how it works. Saying be something does not mean you can be that thing. What's the best country to live in? Whichever you are comfortable in. I feel a bit caged at my home. My parents do not let me live by my own. That does not give me anything. And I have asked my mother for even. I'm 22 years. Yeah, then leave. Leave. Yeah, you will become very resentful. I do not want you to be resentful. Leave now. You are 22 years old, and if you have any sort of income, yeet out of there. Just yeet. Like, make sure you have all the documents and yeet out of there. Take the documents, nothing else, just yeet out of there. You can say both are in loose games. Not really. Because here's the deal, Ukraine lost Crimea in 2014, and after that, nobody is laughing at Ukraine at this point in time. Like, Ukraine is the only nation that went against a nuclear powered nation and invaded their land. That's like shut up, take money. And they literally blunted the operation of Russia without any Western help. Like, here's the deal, everybody was like, 3 days, we're gonna evacuate, the prime minister and all that. It's like, no, I do not want to evacuate. It's like, that's how good they were in the first month. Like, the ammunitions and all that took time to get there. Like, but they were like, bro, we got this. So Ukraine went from like, oh, we were injured to like, I got this. Like, now everybody's like, Ukrainian soldiers, they will be priceless. Ukrainian generals, priceless. Every country that has any sense of brain, they're like, sir, please come to our country and train our soldiers. Like, they fought an unwinnable scenario and they're still standing after almost 3 years. That's like, shut up, take money. Like, they had made mistakes and they learn from it and they improve, and next time they're like, wha-bam. It's like, what? Like, you are improving in battle time while you have nothing. It's like, damn. I have tested whiskey and red wine, both tasted bitter. Wonder how people drink it willingly. You have not developed a taste for it, so that's why. Once you develop for it, you cannot stop. If convert to inside, do you you read the novel? You went somewhere that I do not know. As a science communicator, do you fear feeding wrong information to your audience, or are you planning to take big steps as a science communicator? Yes, dear. If people are actually, processing the information that I'm giving, I do not have to worry. Even if I give some wrong information, they will crunch through it and like, whoa, bro. You messed up this part. And again, it has happened and I have made corrections in past. If people are crunching, I'm in safe hand. And again, I do my best. Other than that, nothing else is to be offered. So I do my best, and then it's like, okay, let's see. I think Spain, USA, New Zealand, Australia are best countries. If you want to go there, go there. Know about human loss, no war, not war loses. New Zealand, Australia. Yeah, Australia is not that amazing. I have a friend there, so I know. It's not that many things. Here's the deal. From outside every country, like, grass is always greener. You have to understand that. Like, once you get older, you're also getting there. Not only Ukraine, Israel also got some balls. That's absolutely true. Factually true. These two tiny countries, practically speaking, they showed they got balls. They're like, they got balls. Have you and other animals evolved to have illusions of strong free will? We have free will. It's just not to infinite degree. We have free will. It's just that within constraint of our biological self. And once we upgrade ourselves, which again I do not know how it will happen or what form it will take, but again that's a future problem to be solved. We are going in good direction. Again, there are certain issues, especially with the family unit destruction, which again was planned for. But again, that's why we have a saying: be very careful what you wish for. You might get it. You might get it. So things happening. For example, tada. Like this is again, my brother bought a much expensive version of this. This is from Asus TUF, and again it's waterproof. It has gasket and all that, and it has much more thermal mass to absorb it. Indians earning good in abroad, no tension, 80%. Yeah, no, no, no. Do you not have any relatives there, or you have all rich relatives there? That's the only two where you can have this sort of delusion. Here's the deal: every Indian that is in America is not rich. Many of them are really struggling, like really struggling. So life is not that easy. You go somewhere and life becomes easy. That's not how life works. You have to be good, then you can make out something for yourself somewhere, hopefully. So your brother is married or not? He has plans. He's married, or he is not married. It's his personal life. Why you guys are worried about someone else's personal life? It confuses me. Why you are worried about someone else's personal life? So this is now working at 10 GPS. Now one thing I also wanted to share with you guys is that if you are looking into any cables like USB-C to USB-C, all USB to C to C is 60 watt cable. Now during the early phase of power delivery development, power delivery was targeting 100 watts of power. Now they are targeting 240 watts, but they were targeting 100 watt. So you could have bought cable like this, which always said 5 amps. 5 amps. 5 amps simply means you have same C to C cable, and here they have a microchip, or what we call e-marker chip. E-marker chip does a handshake with the charger and mobile phone and tells that I can support 5 amps. Now basically USB association, who is responsible for this power delivery standard, they are shaking their hands away from this. Like this will no longer be manufactured. It's not being manufactured. So everything you are getting right now, it's an old stock. And what they are saying that now you have either 60 watt cable or 240 watt cable. The reason is that they do not want two standards. It's like, okay, you have 100 watt each e-marker chip and 240 watt. Now what is 240 watt? Same 5 amps but 48 volts. So 5 amps 48 volt cable will be like, you know, so basically they are simplifying it. So either you pay for it, if you pay for a cable, hopefully by 2026, because that's when the law will be passed for laptops. 2024, this is the last year for mobile phones. By 2026, it will be for laptops that they have to use power delivery. So by that time, hopefully all the cables that you pay for should be generally a e-marker cable, and you only get 240 watt cable, which supports 48 volt and 5 amps. I've been to your Telegram. A lot of people really don't process the information. They just took the word of authority. Your aim is to build this channel was providing rigorous information, right? See, rigorous to my standards. There is no ultimate authority. There is no ultimate, like everything that I talk about is absolutely true. That does not happen. Again, I may have been childish to believe that that could have been done, but I'm old enough now that I understand this. Like, you do your best, that's it. And if people are like, we just take what you say, I'm like, again, I can't help you. Like, for example, I say don't get married and you need proof for it, go to family court. But again, if you do not go to family court, then that's not on me. I told you, go to family court. Do not listen to me. Do not listen to anyone. Go to family court near you. See, I'm providing a data point. And if you are like lazy or like just do not like to exercise your own brain, I cannot help you. I've been to a lot of people who don't process the information. Just trying to figure how much the USB cable. It sounds expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. Like, I spent $1,000 for this cable. Like this cable is the most annoying expenditure. I paid a lot of money for this. Like, this was supposed to USB 3.0 USB-C. It is not. I needed a long cable so I can have like a lot of things. It did not. It's very hard. Like, it's very expensive to buy you know, C to C cable that is long. Like I think it was like reaching 3,000 4,000 rupees. Thankfully this cable, where's the box for it? So this was 1000 rupees. Now this is second best, I would say. Like the likelihood of you ever exceeding its capacity in mobile phone is almost zero. Laptop you could, but as a normal what you call mobile phone and even thin and light notebooks, more than good enough. Like this is a very, and be mindful, the most important part is it has USB 3.0, meaning it can support 5 Gbps and 10 Gbps. So it does support, like I have tested that with this puppy and I am getting 1 gigabyte and the cable is long. So this is a very desirable, like a very good cable, I would say, a very good cable. Like, but be mindful, it is limited because it's a 100-watt cable. I do not expect this cable to be, this is basically a mobile charger cable with high speed data transmission, nothing more than that. But if I want like laptop grade charger and laptop grade data transfer, that's like Thunderbolt 4 cable, and that's very expensive. 80% Indians going to Canada for just end up doing multiple minimum wages part returning out due to the shame and that sad reality. Yeah, it's like if anybody truly expect that you're gonna go there and magically something, so it could happen. Like you could be in really bad scenario. For example, you could be stuck in Gaza, for example. Anything would be better than that, right? Like, there are countries that have collapsed. There are countries that are in constant war. You would be better than that. But does not mean like you can go from India to somewhere and be like, yeah, that's not guaranteed. That's really not guaranteed. Sir, Coke is a mic by good luck. Yeah, I really need that luck. Did you know website or source where I can find the equipment with electrical values flow measure device, high pressure pipes? There should be. I do not know any website right on top of my head. Everyone have biases and do genuinely mistake periodically. Is just human. Yeah, that's a factual reality. That's just factual reality. If anyone go to family court, then they will not want to marry. Again, that's why I'm saying, no, like, do not listen to me, do not listen to your parents, do not listen to gurus on internet. Listen to the people who have the authority over you. They can come to your home and poof you. Like, they have legal power of that. That's why go to them. Like, they have authority over you. So you need to know that. What's the electrical... but if your audience is not getting what you're trying to convey, doesn't that matter, make you feel bad? No. See, I can only try to such, like, there is all saying now, you can lead a horse to a water, but you cannot make it drink it. It's the same thing. I can do my best. I can try my best. But if you're like, I'm like, I'm out. Like, I'm out. 10 Gbps SSD case is 1000 rupees, 40 Gbps case is 13,000. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Like here's the deal, the amount of conductor you need for data connection goes exponentially. So you need same conductor count that you have for USB 3.0 for 5 Gbps and 10 Gbps, but 20 you need more conductor count, and 40 you need a retimer chip. That's why it's so expensive. And again, the processors that you need is also very expensive. Like basically the hold on. Basically what's happening here is basically you have NVMe controller that is being translated to USB. So that controller chip has to work at that speed. If 10 Gbps is not that expensive, again, very cheap. But again, you may want to buy a bit premium one. Again, I do not think you need for 10 Gbps, but for 20, I think you should invest in a bit higher quality one, because again, at that point the SSD might heat up. This again did come up with like the body is good, does heat up, but I have not deployed any kind of what you call thermal pad yet. So if I put thermal pad, I think this should be very what you call good. It should be better. That could happen. So yeah, but again, like 20 Gbps, I think you can get go for without too much cost. It's like 3,500 or something like that. But 40 Gbps is like Thunderbolt 3. That's like over expensive. Legal doctorate dictator. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. I'm 20 years, I can't focus on my studies because, oh my God, we should do, please guide me. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. This is not working, your small brain is working. Yeah, you have to go through this. You have to go through this hell. You have to destroy your life. Then you will realize that's not worth it. Then you will learn. So it's up to you. Why you are asking? You know what you are doing wrong and you are asking someone else. That's like, come on. You know what you are doing wrong. You know how to fix it. You're not fixing it. That's on you. Hi, knock knock. Hi sir, hello. Google first page is now showing responsive Gemini AI in top. Will it impact the traffic website which used to be ranked by in top? Of course it will. Of course. Search China who have new dam. Yeah, let it be. Family courts are a new kind of cartel group. Absolutely true. Factually true. One on one. Million on million. Like it's factually true. Factually true. How I move? No. I do not know what you're talking about. Actually, this old scumbag government rotten our a world like them. Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Just a personal problem. Maybe trying to build a lab rocket, so it's a very high pressure. Bro, go to Google, type it, and there is a tab, shopping tab. It will try to figure it out. I'm only gonna do the same thing. Do not ask me. I do not keep it in my head where it's like, okay, this shops are there. I do not know. If I sit down, I'll figure it out. But again, that's how I will figure it out. I'll like type it in Google shopping, not Amazon, not eBay, Google shopping. That will give me a lot of options, and then I'll figure it out. And I think you have asked this again and again. I have told you the same thing. I do not know exactly which branch has that. लेकिन मतलब oh, look at the time. Damn, it's 1 hour already. Okay, guys. Wow, this was a very enlightening live stream. Surprisingly high amount of views. Anyway, thank you guys. It was quite an interesting live stream. And anybody who repeats comments, I'm gonna poof you. But any update on your logging project? No, it's done. It's like in cold state at this point in time. Many things that they get 7,000 Mbps speed from SSD. No, you get that from NVMe directly connected to your motherboard. You will not get that sort of speed from enclosure. The best fastest in connection is 4 Gbps, so you're not gonna exceed that. So chat related, so I typed here. Will Iran be able to build up nuclear? Most likely they can. It's not that difficult. Anyway, I will see you guys next week, hopefully with some good news. Hopefully, knock on wood. Anyway, bye.